Hey, Matt here, and welcome to Mob Street. Last week, my wife and I went down to the AIMExpo in Las Vegas to see what all was new and what was coming out for the bikes of 2023. And it was cool to go and see, some of the folks that I had met before, hanging out with the folks at Nelson Rig, the guys at Pan of Ice. Now, one thing that I kind of noticed a lot was the massive increase electric vehicles that were at the show this year. Now, personally, I have never really seen an electric vehicle where I was like, oh man, that's cool. I want one of those. But this year was a little different. Now, y'all know that I'm a fan of the TW200. I love how utilitarian it is, how low to the ground it is, how welcoming it is. I mean, this thing can go on-road, off-road. No, it doesn't do highway speeds, but we've already been over that. But this bike does pretty much everything that I want it to do. And when I look at electric vehicles, it's kind of the same mindset. I want something that's utilitarian. I don't need anything for speed. I want to have something that can actually get out and do something and be available to do the things that I wanted to do. Out here in Utah, we have a lot of trails, we have a lot of back roads, we have all sorts of stuff. And that is one of the main draws that I have for the TW200 is that I can get on here with my family and we can go cruise and have a great time. This year at the AIMExpo, I ran into the folks at UBCO Electric Vehicles. I don't know their exact name, I apologize. But as I was walking by, one of the guys flipped the throttle to show another person what the bike could do. And the thing that really caught my attention was that when he twisted the throttle, the front wheel started moving also. So the UBCO is a two-wheel drive electric motorcycle. When I got to looking at this, they had one of these bikes that was set up for hunting, fishing, totally looked like off-road. It looked like something that we've done with the TW200. A lot of us have definitely done some upgrades to the bike. We've taken them all over the place. Again, I've never been an electric vehicle fan. And there's multiple reasons that I just, I'm not overly fond of. All that stuff aside, and many other things aside, this bike caught my attention because it looked the most utilitarian. So I started talking to the folks. I said, hey, what's the deal? Where did this all come about? And the company right now is in Eugene, Oregon. And they said, well, these were designed for the folks in New Zealand with dairy farms. And they needed a vehicle that wouldn't scare the animals, but they also needed a vehicle that could handle the terrain for where they were. They wanted something utilitarian, so they built this two-wheel drive electric bike. And this, like I said, is the first one that's really caught my attention. So Tucker had a spot set up here at the AIMExpo for all the electric vehicles. You could go and test them. You could see what you thought, whether or not you like them, whatever. Well, UBCO had a bike over there, and I got everything filled out, and I went and I test rode this bike. And it is crazy. It handles really, really well. So I did a little bit higher speeds, a little bit slower speeds. Now, granted, this is only on carpet that I was testing this. So when I say it handled well, consider the conditions. I would love to get my hands on an UBCO bike and test it against the TW200. Find the ins and the outs of it, the things that are great about it, but to put one up against the TW. It looks like they have plenty of accessories for these, and they've got, well, the one had a surfboard hook to it, which I've seen folks do with the TW, so that's nothing new. But just like, I don't know, it was a cool little bike, and it's probably not as robust as the TW, but an aluminum frame, they say, is super solid. The thing that I asked him one of the things that I thought about was, hey, both of those drive motors are in the wheels. So they're hubs in the wheels, and that's where your main drive power comes from. And so I asked, well, what is it like, doing water crossings? What is it like riding across a creek? I mean, are you going to short anything out or what? And the guy said, so far, he's like, obviously you don't want to leave the bike submerged for a long time, but river crossings, creek crossings, they haven't had any issue. So, UBCO, if you're watching this, I would love to get my hands on one of your bikes and do a ton of videos on it for you, against the TW, with the TW, standalone, whatever it may be. But that was the main thing that I kind of really caught with the AIMExpo this year was, yes, there were some new products and gadgets and gizmos for the bikes, but the presence of the electric vehicle was definitely increased this year over the last couple years. Now, put in the comments down below, gas or electric? Why or why not? And give me the reasons why you think, hey, we should, we shouldn't. And I'm going to do a follow-up video with this on more about what I think about the electric vehicles versus the gas vehicles. Why not? I hope you found this video informative. If there's questions, comments, put those down below. And as always, make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and follow along. I'm Matt. This is Mob Street. And make sure to tune in because this bike is going to Bonneville and we're going to be doing some stuff to it. So make sure to follow along. Thanks for watching.